Hello everybody, I am J-Malls of J-Malls Gaming, and I want to talk about Viper today, and some supposed changes that it will be receiving in 7.05, which have caused a bit of controversy, so let's get into it. Viper is one of two new jobs introduced with Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. It uses two swords that it can combine into a twin blade, and has Ultra Instinct. It's pretty cool, but it's a really simple job, and arguably a bit too simple for my tastes, which is why I probably won't be maining it when I get to endgame. However, it's not overly simple, and it's a job that I would love to play every now and then for like roulettes or just to shut my brain off and just rip and tear. However, in a Lodestone post, they talked about some supposed job changes coming down the line in the near future, and Viper's one of them, so I want to read this right now. Planned Viper adjustments. Newly released in patch 7.0, we've received feedback pertaining to the busyness of their skill rotation. We'll get into that. To that end, we are planning several improvements, including the easing of directional requirements, we'll get into that one, and changes to the effects of several actions. We are aiming to implement these changes in patch 7.05, though we also intend to make some smaller adjustments to the range of certain abilities in patch 7.01. It will take a while longer, but we hope to address player concerns as best we can. Now, myself and many others read that and were immediately perplexed at the idea that Viper is busy, because the job is really simple and kind of devolves to just hit the glowy thing. Maybe the absolute highest of high end, you have to do some specific rotation or whatnot. For most people, you're gonna just hit the button that's glowing and just maintain your buffs and you're like mostly there. It's not an overly complex job by any stretch of the imagination, but the joy and fun of Viper I tend to find comes through its pacing. It can be a pretty fast job, not the fastest in game from at least what I've played. However, it can be pretty fast on occasion. And then there's these weird slow times where it's not that fast at all. It's kind of like a blend between the combos of Monk, but with like a Reaper skeleton because of Reawaken. And the more and more I played a Viper, it's over its simplicity is starting to be a bit of a turnoff for me, which is why I probably won't main it when I get the end game. I'll just level something else. However, the busyness is interesting because there's one element to the Viper that it does have, and that's positionals. Whereas a lot of jobs kind of lost or were losing positionals over the last couple of expansions, Viper comes out swinging with them. You have your Steel Fang and Dread Fang combo, both capping off with a positional depending upon what the second part of the combo was. But you also have Dreadwinder. Dreadwinder itself not having a positional, but Dreadwinder unlocks the ability to use Hunter's Coil, being a flank positional, and Swiftskin's Coil being a rear positional. And with how fast Viper can be on occasion, yeah, I can see why some people may get a bit overwhelmed with juggling all these positionals despite having two stacks of True North. My biggest concern with possibly removing, because I feel as if the general consensus is that when they're talking about the busyness of the positionals for Viper, they're talking about Dreadwinder. The biggest concern I have when it comes to Viper is that if you remove those positionals, what else does the job really have that will keep my brain engaged throughout the entire fight? And honestly, I don't think that much, because if I want that fast, really rapid pace to the play, most of the other melee DPS, at least from my play in Endwalker, provide me some version of that, like Reaper or Monk with Grease Lightning. So the main concern is if you take out these positionals from Dreadwinder, yeah, positionals by themselves aren't the most engaging things of all time, but they're at least something on top of the simplicity of Viper. And when you have a job that is really simple and really fast, I tend to find it's not all about just adding a really complex mechanic on top of that, but having just something to keep your brain engaged, and something a bit more simple just added on top of a really fast-paced job can go a long way. The positionals for Dreadwinder and the Steel Fang Dread Fang combo kind of filled that niche for me. There's also another concern that Viper just came out, and most people are probably still leveling through the MSQ. They haven't even gotten to max level yet, I imagine. I mean, I haven't, so it's not like we've really play-tested these things in the endgame raids that'll come down the line when it comes to Dawntrail. And maybe all the positionals will be an issue when we get to there, but we're not there yet. And I think I would join the people erring on the side of caution saying, let's test out Viper in endgame first, and then make decisions like this. Especially at the beginning of an expansion, the voices you are likely to hear will normally be overtly negative because the people that are enjoying a job or whatever are too busy playing the game and working their way through the content. If you're enjoying a job design, you're likely not to make a bunch of forum posts or whatnot just saying, you all need to hear how good this job plays, oh god, it's so smooth and I'm really enjoying it. Or if you just enjoy it to some degree, you're not going to be like you're not going to make a whole bunch of, forum threads going like, yeah, I think the job's okay. But if you really dislike a job or whatever, well, you're likely to make your voice known about it. Now, I've talked about the state of simplification of Final Fantasy XIV jobs and homogeneity when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV jobs before, but I think what we will see throughout Dawntrail is Square Enix erring on the side of caution when it comes to job design, because I believe it's abundantly clear, if they didn't just say it in the interviews before, that Dawntrail, they really want to test out new mechanics from the fight encounters themselves. And they likely don't want to make a bunch of drastic job changes going alongside that because they want to test those mechanics out first. Does it suck for those of us who want more complicated, just in-depth and unique jobs? Yes, because essentially we have to wait till 8.0 to see what their version of that will look like. Will I be content? Most likely I can find something that I find fun, because I don't believe job design in Final Fantasy XIV is overtly bad or anything. It's just I would like to see a bit more job identity and uniqueness brought back into the game. We'll have to see what becomes of Viper. Absolutely, 100%. Because we don't know what those other changes they want to make are. However, if they go the route of making Viper even more simple and basic than it already is, then I think it's gonna operate closer to, say, Summoner for me, or something. Or it'll end up feeling too similar to Reaper for me. And I don't think that's a healthy state for the game in the long term. So personally, I would err on the side of caution here. I would wait till after the first tier to make any significant changes to Viper. It's not my favorite job in the game, but I think it's serviceable, and I think it's fun, and I think there will be an audience for it. I think mechanically speaking, Pictomancer appeals more to me, because I really like how much you can plan for the future when it comes to the paintings and all that. One of those situations where you just kind of gotta wait and see. But here's where you come in. I want you to make your voice heard. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the current state of Viper. Have you been enjoying it? Have you been disliking it? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear your reasons why. Is it too simple? Is it not simple enough? Do you like positionals? Do you not like positionals? I think they have a place in Final Fantasy XIV, and they're an aspect to job design that I do enjoy. What's been your favorite job that you've played in Dawntrail so far? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions, and to hear your perspectives. Because this is not an easy conversation when it comes to MMOs, because there's so many different viewpoints and perspectives on this topic, and just what people want out of the game. So with that, I think I'll call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure for making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and help support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again. One more time, until we meet again.